Welcome to the Awakened Healer podcast. I'm your host, Mary Beth Vanderlinden. I'm an ordained Christian minister, international intuitive healer, healer trainer, speaker, and retreat facilitator. On the Awakened Healer podcast, myself and a wide variety of fascinating guests will share our gifts and divine experiences. I won't shy away from diving deep and asking big questions during these conversations. In turn, we will open up and share our deepest thoughts on spirituality, angels, intuitive development, crystals, healing of all kinds, and how bridging ancient wisdom with modern science can bring you to a deep and profound healing in every area of your life. Welcome to another episode of Awakened Healer. Today I was thinking about rising up from the ashes and just how many times I've risen in my life. How many times I've made the choice to get back up from the bottom, even when I wanted to give up. How many times I've trusted God's voice and direction over my own. And how many times the journey up and to the other side was one of the greatest blessings in my life. I'm not unique in this. I've talked and worked with tens of thousands of clients through the years. We've all been given faith, inner strength, wisdom, and resilience. Sometimes we just forget for a moment that we have it, or we just need to take a pause and recover from being knocked down. Sometimes we need to get help to get back up. Sometimes we need support to fight for ourselves, to fight for our lives and the blessings that are ours to receive. Sometimes we need to be reminded that courage to rise can be as simple as just trying one more thing, but a little bit different this time. We don't have to always reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's just a little tweak to what we've already been doing that will get us back up again. It's been my passion and my privilege to support other women on their journey back up so that they can rise, thrive, and create their best lives. So many stories through the years have really touched me, and just sometimes I just want to cry when I think of some of the things that people have gone through or are going through. So many know my story, or at least parts of it, and they ask me, how did you survive that? How did you get through it? I've had 19 death or near-death experiences in my life. And that included divorce, bankruptcy, being homeless, the death of my son. That was something that I didn't see how I would ever recover from. But day by day, it's been a year and a half now and day by day, it is getting better. I'm so blessed that I can communicate with him from the other side, but it is not the same as having him here with me. I didn't know how I would rise from that, or if I even wanted to. A part of me died with him, and it has been like the biggest struggle of my life to get that part of me back. But the answer is always the same. The answer is because God wants to do a new and better thing in my soul, my life, or my business. And if he still wants to use me, I have to be there for him. I need to have the courage and the willingness to do the things he asks of me. I know I'm not alone in this journey because so many of my clients also struggle with letting go of what was to create something new. What was is in the past. We have to be willing to take that step into the new. There's always a bit of fear in the unknown. What about you? Have you felt so broken you didn't know how you would ever rise again but you allowed God the freedom he needed to do a miracle in your life, I would love to hear about it. You know, it isn't easy. He never said it would be. It requires so much trust and patience to embrace that there are things you can't see working for your good, especially when you feel absolutely broken. At those times, it's just really hard to grasp that something really is in the works for you. But the courage to change one thing, to take one tiny step at a time. We all have at least one thing in our life that we wish we had the courage to change, to do, or to be. It's that thing that makes our soul expand when we just think about achieving it. It's that thing that God nudges us towards in a loving way. It's the thing that we know deep in our soul would improve not only our life, but the lives of so many people. When I think of the tens of thousands of people that God has allowed me to touch or bless in some way, it's overwhelming. It's just like, why did he pick me? But he picks every one of us to do something. We may not see it as great or grand, but to the person that you're touching, it is, or it could be. You just have to allow, him to work through you, to make you a better person, to bring us joy or allow us to be of service to others. The thought of changing, doing, or being that one thing makes us feel passion just coursing through us when it's that one thing that we are really called to do or be. We're inspired, excited, and energized when we think of it. Take some time to really go within and to think about your one thing. Think about the one thing that's doable in your current situation. But you've allowed fear to keep you from taking the action you feel you've been led to take. Start with one tiny step, even if it's just looking, Googling one website or making one phone call. It doesn't have to be anything major, just one tiny step that you can take towards making it happen. You can join me on one of my social media platforms and post your one thing if you'd like to. And then the listeners and I can stand with you, pray for you, and believe for you to move forward with one step each day. Why don't we all make a pact that we will each choose to focus on taking one tiny step each day for the next 30 days in the direction we feel we're being led. And again, if you'd like others to support you, go ahead and post. Go to the podcast post for this show. Just look under Tuesday and look up the show and put in the comments, what is that one thing that you would like all of us to join with you in believing? Where two or more are gathered. You've heard that. And so, if we join together, pray for each other, believe for each other, things happen much faster. And just knowing in the back of our mind and in our hearts that there's others that are rooting for us really gives you the encouragement to take those steps. My links will be in the show notes. And so whether you're on iTunes or my website or whatever, just go and click one of the links, whether you like Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever, you can find them all there. But just one small, simple, brave action at a time can lead to big life changes. I know, I've done it like over and over and over. So here are some questions to help you get started What's the one small thing that you'd love to be, do, overcome, change, or start today? What would you do if you had no fears, no limiting beliefs, or negative thoughts to hold you back? How would your life be better if you had the courage to make that one thing happen? What idea, goal, or dream won't go away? It just keeps coming up and coming up. You know that that is spirit leading you towards your purpose. If you have something that just won't go away, it just keeps coming up. What lights your soul on fire? Really think about that. Let that settle in for a moment. We were made to thrive. We were made to feel joy in our lives. It's our birthright. Thriving happens when we align with living authentically. It's only when we're being true to ourselves that we can thrive and design our best lives. Don't live according to other people's shoulda, woulda, coulda. Everybody always has their opinion of what you should be doing. You know, you should this, you should that. Well, we weren't brought here to live by their shoulds. Each one of us were given gifts, talents, passions, and dreams to enrich our lives and bless others. We were given the wisdom and inner guidance to make good, healthy, and positive choices that are for our highest good. We were given a purpose, a calling, a passion, and a light to shine in the world. Each and every one of us are individuals. And to stay individual, you have to live authentically. Yet we often lose our way along our journey and we have to recalibrate. That's where God steps in to nudge us back on track. We come to a point where we realize that we're not living what's true for us and can't really remember how it happened or when we even got off track, but we have. For some of us, the answer isn't getting back on track, but choosing to head in a different direction. Sometimes the person that you were yesterday doesn't fit with who you are today, and that's okay. We're here to grow and change and evolve and learn lessons. And if you can look at yourself today and look back a month ago, a year ago, a decade ago, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm the same person, there's something off. And you want to look at that and say, you know, why am I the same person? Why haven't I grown? Why haven't I evolved? Sometimes the way you lived before doesn't work with how you want to live now, and that's okay. You may have had a spiritual download that actually told you you would be going in a different direction, or you may have had the feeling of something new growing inside of you. You just feel pregnant with that new thing, and it's like, you know, when am I going to deliver this? When's it going to, you know, come forth? When am I going to see, you know, what this new thing is? The cool thing about rising and thriving is that you can begin again at any time. Rising, thriving, and redesigning your life is part of the journey. If you're just surviving, feeling stuck, stressed, overwhelmed, depressed, and wanting to create a new life, then take time to slow down, to connect with God so that you can get back on track again or get back in the direction you're supposed to be headed. It's time to recalibrate your life and become aligned again. What's stopping you? Really? Stop for a moment and ask yourself that, like, what is stopping me? You know, is it your family and their opinion about what you think you want to do? You know, and they're all giving you their opinion and making you doubt yourself? What's stopping you from embracing who you are, living your truth, and creating a life that thrives starting today? One of the greatest victories we ever experience in our lives is rising back up after we've been knocked down or been at the bottom. Along our journey, we'll get knocked down. We will trip and fall. We will sometimes choose to just collapse. And we will hit personal rock bottoms over the course of our lives. There will be times when the pain is so great, the distance back up seems too far. The fog is just too thick to even see through. That inner chaos is so consuming that we just want to quit. It's at those moments that we need to remember that we can get up. We can give up, and that's our choice. So what is it going to be? Get up or give up? It's in those moments that we need to reconnect with the deepest part of our soul and remember that we're worth it. We are worth fighting for. We are worth living for. We are worth standing up for. So if you're in one of those bottom places now, I want to encourage you to get back up. Even if it's, just grabbing hold of something where you just, put one foot underneath you and start to make that effort, or get on one knee at a time. Get back up one step at a time. Get back up one day at a time, because you are worth it. Because it's your time to rise into you, the you that you came here to be. It isn't easy to rise again, to follow where you're being led, because it's often taking you out of your comfort zone. But if you're going to allow God to do a new thing in you, then you have to be willing to take action and do what you've never done before. Nothing will change. And I know we've all heard this, nothing's going to change if you keep doing the same old, same old. So you have to be brave, be bold, be a risk taker, be willing to do, the things you're being nudged to do. I hope to see your posts so that I can believe with you. Be brave. Until next time, bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on the Awakened Healer podcast. Did you enjoy the show? If yes, please subscribe and give me 5, on a review that is, on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review or your comments and let me know what you loved or would love to learn about on future shows. We all need encouragement, including me. Find out more information on my website at spiritledhealinginstitute.com. Be blessed, and remember, if you're good with you and good with God, you're good.